Hi guys, this is Awesome John 22 coming at you with another review, this time of the Marvel Universe 3 3/4 inch Hercules figure. And yes, this is the Hercules from Greek mythology. If you don't know, he is actually a character after Hercules becomes immortal. There's not really much about him anymore, so Marvel Universe said, hey, let's make him a superhero. He looks a little weird, kind of silly, though this isn't too far from how Hercules would dress in the mythology. He wouldn't have a big H on his belt, but overall, this is a very accurate depiction of Hercules, and believe me, if you read my blog, I am a huge stickler for accuracy when it comes to mythology. He has a club, which was the weapon that Hercules would use when he wasn't just pounding you with his fists. He looks like Hercules. He's buff, he's cool looking, and because he's a Marvel character and he's a Marvel superhero, he did at one point spend some time as an Avenger, which as many of them actually do. And I mentioned in my collection video, and I believe one or two other places, that primarily I collect characters who were the Avengers in the comics. So when I saw this guy on the shelf, I had to pick him up. He's a good looking figure. Very cool looking. I really thought, I looked at him, I thought, you know, this guy looks just like he jumped right out of a page in the comics. I took a second look at him, the paint, I thought it looked great, so I'm like, you know, I might as well grab him. I don't know when I'm going to see him again. So I did, and now I can review him for you. As with our previous Marvel Universe review, we are going to look at paint, sculpt, and articulation. So let's start with the paint. I already zoomed in here on his head. Very cool head sculpt. Very well painted. Actually, I'm going to talk about the sculpt here. I'm not going to worry about talking about the paint, because the paint is impeccable on this guy. There is no bleed. There's no scratches. Everything is spot on. There could be more shading on him. But otherwise, I mean, this guy, his paint could not be better. It's probably the best paint I've seen on a Marvel Universe figure in a long time. No flaws whatsoever. See, he's got really intense eyes. Great gold flecks in the gold paint. Look at that. The sculpt is great. The muscles all look good. They look actually relatively proportionate for a cartoon character. Well, a comic book character. The weapon is detailed and interesting. If you can see in there, it looks like something that was constructed. It has a great strap sculpted into it that can actually fit around his wrist, which is very cool. So sculpt and paint could not be better, and articulation could not be better. He does a full 360 and can look very far up and down, thanks to this ball hinge joint in his neck. He has a ball hinge joint in the shoulder. He rotates at the bicep. He has a barely just over 90-degree bend in the elbow, and he has a ball hinge joint in his wrist. That's just awesome. He has an ab crunch that also rotates. Doesn't rotate super far, but it rotates. And he has a ball jointed hip, rotation at the thigh, double hinge at the knee, and a ball hinge joint in his ankle. It's the modern standard Marvel Universe articulation, and it could not be better. He's kind of a gem. He's kind of a diamond in the rough. And not even really in the rough, because the recent figures have all been great. He's yet another diamond to come out of this line recently. And if you are a fan of Marvel, if you're a fan of the mythology, if you're a fan of the Avengers, I recommend picking him up. Definitely. He's a great looking toy. I don't regret for a second buying him. And I don't buy Marvel Universe as much as I used to, and this guy really reminds me why I should be picking them up more often, why I should be collecting them more. I mean, look at this guy. He's a higher quality than you would get out of a Transformers toy nowadays, and I love him. I just love this figure, and I'm gushing. I gush way too much. I've got to start reviewing some bad figures. Jeez, I just love him. I think he's great. I mean, he's a 3 3/4 inch scale, so you don't really need a size comparison. But I realize now, I did not bring anything for a size comparison. Let's see. What do I have? I have a pony. It's actually in pretty good scale with him, really. I have a Pokemon, which is also actually in pretty good scale with him. What do I have? I'm sitting in a room where I kind of keep all my random extra figures. Oh no, here we go. Here's a Marvel Universe guy. Get rid of these. Let's see. Here's another Marvel Universe character. Here's Ronan, who is still in here from when I reviewed Hawkeye and the other West Coast Avengers. So there he is with another Marvel character with a smaller body sculpt. You can see Ronan, if Ronan would stand. Ronan is significantly smaller because Hercules has more of the Thor-type body, whereas Ronan, of course, has the standard human body. So very good scale even amongst other Marvel Universe figures. He fits in great with the line. Really, I couldn't be happier with this figure than I am right now. So, what it really comes down to is the recommendation. Do I recommend picking up this figure? I mean, like I said, yes, I would pick him up if I were you. So there you go, guys. I've got a couple ideas for my next review. I am either going to review the only Masterpiece figure I have, or I'm going to actually start reviewing some of the Transformers Prime Decepticons, as I haven't really talked about them very much at all. Which, if I do that, I will probably start with Megatron. So, until next time, this has been Awesome John 22, and I will talk to you guys later.